Good afternoon, class. I will be giving speech four, and speech four is on conspiracy theories. Now, the conspiracy theory that I chose is big pharma, which is pharmaceutical companies, and how they work against how they operate for sinister purposes and against public good. Now, the topics I will be touching on are how they can cause or worsen diseases, how remedies are suppressed, how I will be talking on AIDS, cancer, and COVID 19, and how cures have been discovered but hidden from the public for their own economic benefit. So that is what I will be touching on now. The reason I chose this conspiracy is because I found this topic interesting and I have prior knowledge, quite a bit of knowledge on this topic, so that's why I chose this. Now, AIDS. Let's get into AIDS first. AIDS disease. So the earliest known case that we know from is actually from an African man in 1959 from the Congo. He was actually tested and he tested positive for AIDS from a blood test. Now, AIDS, the AIDS disease in America didn't become such a huge problem till June of 1981. Now, with AIDS, there are so many conspiracies that I don't want to get into them because we don't know what's true or what's fake. But what I do believe and what this conspiracy supports is AIDS was actually created by man-made, so in a lab, for bad purposes against humanity. Now, there's a conspiracy that maybe I believe, I don't know. We have to take into account that during this time of period of the 1980s, civil rights movement and civil rights activists was a big deal, as racism in America was huge. It was still playing a huge part in the society of America during this time. Now, there has been no cure for AIDS found yet, but there is treatment. So while I'm doing this, take into account that treatment equals money. So that's pretty much what it is. Now with cancer, now believe it or not, but 1/4 of Americans believe that there is a cure for cancer, including myself. So 1/4 of Americans in the American population, if you ask me, that's a lot and a lot of people. So yeah, I believe that too. So 1/4 of Americans believe this, so something is there. I don't know. Now take into account also that there are over 200 different types of cancers, and there hasn't been a cure found yet. Now, I believe with the technology that we have, there has to be a cure that has been found. There has to be at least one cure. With all the technology, and the human race is only becoming better. We're becoming smarter, and we're at to mentally so advanced in some stuff. To me, it's a coincidence that we haven't, as pharmaceutical companies don't want it to, as they benefit from all this. And now another thing is, I don't want to come off like that. Think y'all thinking that I'm bashing doctors or healthcare workers, because that's not what I want. Now, what's happening is these people that own the pharmaceutical companies, the most powerful people and rich people in the world, the ones who run the show, are the ones who are hiding information from the public for their own benefit, obviously, and to control society. These people are evil, and they don't care. They don't care for all of us, as they're willing to kill people, as we saw with COVID-19, which I'm finna get into. And COVID-19, we know, was created in a lab, the Wuhan lab to be exact. Now, when COVID-19 first became a thing, now with COVID-19, before I start, COVID-19 is fresh, so we don't know if it's going to come back stronger, if it's going to go away forever, if it's going to be like the flu, seasonal, we don't know yet. As well as with the vaccines, are they going to work? We don't know what's going on yet, as it's very, very fresh in society. So it's too early to tell. But what we do know is COVID-19 first was blamed in the Chinese wet markets, which proved to be false. The Chinese wet markets were not true. It was false. And then we know it was created in a lab, Wuhan lab to be exact, and was used against humanity to control society. I think it was used to control society. Now, to control society and against, my bad. COVID-19 was used against humanity to control society and for their own economic benefit. Now, COVID-19 vaccines are fake. COVID-19 vaccines, to some people, are believed to be fake or trackers, or it's a conspiracy, which I don't want to get into, but that's what many people believe. Now, with the like I said earlier, with technology being so advanced, I believe that there has to be something there. At least with COVID, somebody has to know the truth. And like I said, the pharmaceuticals, they run everything. They run the show. These powerful people, the CDC, they run everything. So yes. Now, I'm going to get into the economic benefits from all this. Now, funding for cancer research. There has been a total of $6 billion for cancer research, a total from the CDC, and roughly $300 million a year for cancer research itself, just cancer. Now, in 2016, for AIDS research to find a cure, it was roughly an estimate of $788 million in 2016. Roughly $800 million a year, just from the CDC. Take into account that there are also private organizations that do their own research, and these are just two diseases that I'm talking about. There can be diabetes, so many more diseases that hurt people. Now, also, insurance companies take a part in this too, as there is money to be made. There is money to be made, so they're in on it as well. And that is why medicine is so expensive. Medicine is so expensive because there is no control and regulation, and pretty much the government allows monopolies, or the pharmaceutical companies, to run. And these organizations, the pharmaceuticals, big pharma, we could call it, they are evil, and they just benefit for their own economic good and to control society.